Welcome back to the Coffee Bar Live with your favorite bartender, A5 Cup of Coffee. Let me go ahead and get this drink ready so we can go ahead and get to these notes. Welcome, good people. Welcome to the Coffee Bar. So, let's get started. So, first and foremost, of course, we got to go ahead and get through the previews, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the movies and shows that I want to review for this week. What's up, Darren? Appreciate you joining in. So, let's get to it. So, right now, one of the more exciting things that I've seen this past week was Netflix is going to actually release a samurai anime starring a black samurai, which is actually pretty cool. It's called Yasuke, I believe. Somebody correct me on it if I got it incorrect, but that's what we're looking at as of right now. And it looks like it's a samurai who is basically wanting peace, and unfortunately he has to pick back up his sword to go ahead and defend his country. So I am definitely down with that. I am for it, and the release photos look wonderful, so I'm good with that. Marcus, what's good, man? So next we got the live action casting for the new Powerpuff Girls live action. So I'm excited about that. Guilty pleasure, I love the Powerpuff Girls when I was younger, so I'm definitely for it. And what we're going to be looking at is Chloe Bennett as Blossom. She was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if y'all don't remember. Then we got Dove Cameron as Bubbles. I know a lot of people are saying the live action Hairspray, but me personally, I remember her from The Descendants. My kids love The Descendants, and that's where I see her from. She was the Dragon Girl from The Descendants. And then we got the musical artist Yana Peralt as Buttercup. She's gonna be the tomboyish, tough Buttercup. So I'm with it. I like the casting. I hope they cast Mojo Jojo correctly, and y'all let me know your thoughts. Who y'all think the professor should be? I don't really have any thoughts right now. I was trying to figure out somebody that I see as a good cast. I recently watched the movie with the older 007 in it. He could, and maybe blacken his hair again, and he could maybe be the professor, but we'll see. Then we got a creepy little horror that Amazon Prime is going to be releasing very soon. It's called Them. It's giving me very much Us vibes, mixed with the twins from Lovecraft Country. So I'm with it. It looks like it might be talking about something maybe racial going on there, but it looks very the preview looks very creepy. If y'all haven't seen it, I will put it in the comments after the show, but I'm interested. It's got me, got my eyebrows up. I'm gonna definitely check it out. I hope you guys do as well. Next thing we got, the Justice League Snyder Cut has been, man, just hitting us left and right with previews at this point. Their marketing is out of control right now. I think we got like a preview for almost every character. We got the Black Suit Superman. We got here recently Darkseid and Steppenwolf, which they look amazing. We also got Aquaman not too long ago. The Flash trailer by himself. All of these looking great. I'm definitely hype about it. I'm gonna enjoy this. I believe I'm gonna enjoy this Justice League Snyder Cut. I was talking in one of my groups, and it looks like this Snyder Cut is gonna end like the Justice League Apocalypse War started out. And someone mentioned to me that the Apocalypse War was kind of framed or referenced after the Snyder Cut, what the original story is supposed to be. So that makes me more excited, because if you haven't seen it, check it out. Apocalypse War is absolutely awesome. Moving on, we know we got Falcon and Winter Soldier. That same weekend starts on the 19th. So the Justice League Snyder Cut starts on March the 18th. Then right after that day after, as a matter of fact, we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier on the 19th. So I'm excited about that. What's up, Lawrence? And then we got the next week, we got Kong versus Godzilla hitting us on the 25th. So, man, we got a lot of action packed. I know it's been kind of lame here in 2020 with nothing new in the theaters, but we are getting hit back to back to back this month in March. And hopefully everything starts to go a little bit better, where we can start seeing a lot more movies in theaters and stuff, and I can give you more news. So anyway, moving forward, the first movie that I want to go ahead and go over that I did go ahead and catch this weekend was Wrong Turn 2021. It is a remake from the one way back. I want to say it was maybe about 20 years ago. Wrong Turn came out, the first one, and we've had several sequels, unfortunately declining sequels ever since then. I'm a pretty big fan of the first one. The second one's okay, but after that I was just like, you know how you have to complete a series once you start it? Once you get past like the second or third one, you have to see if it gets any better or worse. And unfortunately, it didn't get any better for me. But this new Wrong Turn, outside of the runtime, it ran a little long. I'm not gonna fib, and it seemed like it was gonna start lasting forever. But outside of that, I did enjoy the movie. It was different. It did have a lot of gore. I do want to forewarn you guys, if you all are fans of the original Wrong Turn, or you like the original Wrong Turn, I do want to tell you they took a different direction with this Wrong Turn. Yeah, it was still in the woods. Yeah, it was still people trying to keep their way of life. But as far as the cannibalism, they made some references to it, but they really didn't do all of that like they did in the first one. It wasn't as torturous as the last one, because after a while it just seemed like torture porn after a while. But I will say this, it does take a little bit of a different turn. The ending, it seemed like it was several endings after a while, but the ending did have a little twist to it. I will say this, I watched it twice. I did enjoy it. Like I said, outside of the runtime, I feel like it was a little bloated. But the good thing behind this is these people, we actually cared about them. We actually cared about each character that got picked off. You know, in a horror movie where you start off with 10 people, you're like, I know this jerk is gonna die, or you know pretty much who's gonna survive, or you have an idea of who the quote unquote final girl is gonna be. So that's how this movie is. That's actually different from this movie, because you actually care about each character, and you're hoping that you're kind of hoping that all of them make it through, even though you know they won't. All of them have pretty decent character development. So yeah, check out Wrong Turn 2021. Out of 10 cups of coffee, I would give it a 6.5. I would have gave it a 7 if it wouldn't have been so long. But again, that's probably my only gripe about this movie. My biggest gripe, as a matter of fact. It has a few unanswered questions at the end, but it leaves the opening for maybe a second one to come through. So y'all check it out. Next, we got Raya and the Last Dragon. Raya and the Last Dragon looks wonderful. If you haven't seen the previews, let me tell you, this movie looks wonderful. The storyline is great, and also with that being stated, um, the characters are great. They're funny. They all have a nice little arc. The only gripe I have is the Talon girl. I can't remember her name right now, but she's like the main antagonist for this movie, and it seems like they try to kind of have her a sort of a Zuko arc. And if you don't know what I mean by that, if you've ever watched Airbender, Zuko starts off as pretty much the worst. He does whatever he can to catch the Airbender, but you find out that he's doing this because he wants to get back his quote unquote honor and the affection of his father. That's why he's doing all of these things, and he starts to find himself and starts to try to find his own path outside of his father. That's Zuko's arc. This girl, they try to make her like this, but she doesn't seem conflicted in any of the things she does. Like when her and Rhea are younger, she kind of stabs Rhea in the back. I'm not going to reveal too much because I want you guys to see it, and it's only been out, since this weekend. But she does stab Rhea in the back, so be expecting that. But she doesn't seem conflicted about it at all. And then everything she does after that, it's not like she's kind of going back and forth about it. And then they have this like 180 turn, like almost, maybe an hour and 15 minutes into the movie, and it's like, I'm not feeling anything for her. She's kind of, I'm not feeling her. But outside of that, I love Rhea. I love the dragon Shishu. The little baby with the monkeys. Everybody that joins Rhea's little crew, I call them Team Avatar 3.0 because that's what it seems like they kind of did in about an hour and a half. And with that being stated, I feel like since this movie has been made, and it kind of, for me, it kind of hits the same story beats as Avatar, The Last Airbender, I feel like they could have made a better live action version of that. But in any case, check out Raya, The Last Dragon. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I drew a lot of comparisons to Avatar, The Last Airbender. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Next movie. I got a lot of complaints about this movie. I know a lot of people were like upset about it, but I gotta be honest, I did kind of enjoy it. I will tell you the good, the bad, and about the movie. Coming to America, or Coming to America 2, whichever one you want to call it. I personally did enjoy it. I love the cameos. You had everybody in this movie, man. You had a lot of the original cast, with the exception of the sister and Daryl and Mom. I think Mom may have passed away in the movie. But outside of that, we got Akeem come back, we got Simi come back, we even got James Earl Jones come back. We got the barbershop crew to come back, of course, and Randy Watson. Somebody answer for me in the comments why Randy Watson sounded so much like Rasputia. I don't understand why he turned into Rasputia, but in any case, like I said, I went into this movie. I did not expect it to hold up to the first movie. I just got to be honest with you guys. That first one was a classic, and whenever you have a movie like that and you have so much time in between, it's very rare that it's equal or better than the very first one. It's hard to live up to something like that. But I am glad it looked like the I don't disagree with that, Mark. Like, bruh, like, I will say this. That was weird. That was a weird kind of way to kind of connect it. So, just to let you all know, my cousin said where the storyline basically is kind of saying that Hakeem has to go back to America in order to retrieve his son that he didn't know he had, because he didn't know he had sex with somebody else. Basically, they were saying they kind of played it off like he got high and he wasn't aware of what was going on. So he basically got date raped, I guess. But that was an iffy kind of thing. They could, maybe they could have did that a little bit better. I don't know how. I honestly don't know how, because I don't know. I don't know how they came up with this idea, just to be honest with you guys. But in any case, I will say this: the jokes for me, they were hit or miss. But I mean, the look of everything was wonderful to me. The way everything looked, the actual dances, I love those, especially with Hakeem's dad. He had a funeral. Funny part, he has a funeral while he's still alive and dies at his own funeral, which is absolutely, that part was funny to me. That was pretty original in my eyes, but that was pretty funny to me. And they had this whole tribute to him, featuring Morgan Freeman as the narrator, of course. Salt and Pepper are there, and Vogue are there. Like, everybody, they're just doing this big tribute to him. It's kind of like a party, but it's supposed to be his funeral, and he dies at it. So it was, I like that Wesley Snipes was so over the top as the General Izzy. And he's the son of the first General Easy from the first movie. Of course, his sister is the bark like a dog girl, Imani, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she's in the movie as well. And I kind of enjoyed Wesley Snipes is so over the top in this role, but I did kind of enjoy it. He was pretty funny, a little bit of an original element. Everything original about this movie I did enjoy. Like I said, the jokes kind of hit or miss for me because I start to feel like they start to rely too much on the old jokes a little bit. That's one of my few gripes about the movie. But like I said, after this first time I went through it and I was like, okay. And I watched it the second time and I definitely enjoyed it a lot more the second time because I didn't have, I guess, my prejudgment glasses on. I took these off and put my other ones on. I don't know. I watched it with no glasses. That's what I did. But in any case, I did enjoy it the second time, and then the third time I did watch it with some family, and I did enjoy it a lot more after that. That would have been pretty cool. That would have been pretty cool if he would have went back to America to retrieve his son, and the cast of The Barbershop was actually in there. That would have been, yeah, that would have been pretty funny to see that. And make that connection with Barbershop and Coming to America. That would have been pretty cool. I'm with that. I could agree with that. That's my cousin. He's saying that he would have had him go back to Chicago, and then the cast of The Barbershop would have been there instead of the originals. That would have been pretty funny. I think the interaction would have been hilarious. But that's not what we went with. So, like I said, the one of the few things that I was disappointed in is Hakeem not really, I guess, standing up for himself a lot in this movie. He's more of a pushover in this movie. And in the first movie, he was like just forging his own path, whether people liked it or not. And I like that about him being a prince. He was his own man, and he wanted to be something outside of Prince of Zamunda. And that's not what we got here. We got him just really kind of going back to this is the law and this, that, and the other. And I mean, guy, you broke the law to find your love. Why can't you, change some things up? But in any case, he got back to himself at the end of the movie. That was part of his arc. And then his son's arc to kind of, live up to being a quote-unquote prince. And I say that because he's supposed to be, the quote-unquote bastard son of Hakeem. Nobody did a DNA test in this or nothing like that. But, hey, it is what it is. But like I said, I did enjoy it. Out of 10 cups of coffee, I would give it a 6. I would give it a 6. Maybe bordering on maybe a 5.86, but like I said, just watch it again. If you didn't enjoy it the first time around, go ahead and watch it again. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it a little bit more the second time around. Now, what we all came here to watch, the few of us that are in here this time around, WandaVision, the season finale. From what I understand, we are at this point, they're just saying this is a one-off, one-season type thing. Because, guys, you have to remember, and this is going to tie into what I'm going to talk about a little bit later, WandaVision was supposed to be a one-off. So, guys, you have to remember, not only is it supposed to be a one-off, it was supposed to come after the Eternals. It was supposed to come after Black Widow, and it was supposed to come after Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it ended up being the coming out party for Phase 4 instead of being like maybe this kind of experimental, maybe this will work, maybe this won't work type of deal. So y'all have to kind of keep that in mind with, what's up, cuz? Y'all have to keep that in mind when you all, I know a lot of people said that they were disappointed in the ending, that the ending didn't answer a lot of their questions. And I think it wasn't about answering their questions. I think that it didn't live up to what you predicted. And guys, y'all got to remember, if you are able to call things a mile away, like, I thought, Mephisto was going to be involved because of The Boys. I thought that Evan Peters was open to the multiverse of madness and all of this stuff. But the thing about it is, just because it didn't end up being what I thought doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't disappointed at all at the ending. Does it have some questions I need answered? Yeah. Most movies shows do at the end. That's why it left it open for multiverse of madness and also Spider-Man, because Wanda's going to be involved with both of those in some type of way, or the fallout from her decisions is going to play a part into both of those movies. I know for sure she'll be in Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange, which they name dropped in this last episode. So let's kind of go through the episode real quick, and y'all tell me what y'all think about the Easter eggs that I found, and y'all let me know. I think she will get a second, but after Doctor Strange too, she might get, because of popularity of the show, she might get another season. But this was meant to be just a one season type thing. This was meant to kind of flesh out Wanda and Vision as characters, in their own little world. Because let's be honest, man, they are some of the more powerful entities in the MCU, and they kind of sideline Vision in Infinity War, which I know it upset a lot of people, myself included. Man, he was basically on a gurney pretty much the entire thing, and I'm like, Vision is one of the more powerful people in the whole MCU. He got blindsided, but man, he got sidelined, and the people who sidelined him had trouble with Captain America and Falcon. I don't understand that. But in any case, moving on. So WandaVision starts out where episode 9 starts off where episode 8 ended. And the boys are, what's up, sis? We start off with the boys are getting choked by magic, and of course Agatha is basically holding them hostage. She basically tells Wanda, she's the Scarlet Witch, and we get this fight scene. The boys get loose. She tells them to go to their room. They run off. Wiccan and Speed run off, and then Wanda hits Agatha with a car, and you see this Easter egg for the Wicked Witch of the West, East, because the Wicked Witch of the East is the one who died in the beginning of The Wizard of Oz. You see her boots, and then the car on top of her boots in the crashed house. Now, after this, you see White Vision show up, and we don't know exactly what he has in mind. We just know he's not on Wanda's side. He grabs Wanda and basically starts crushing her. Luckily, Real Vision shows up, and they end up fighting. Awesome fight scene to me. You see the phasing happening where they're trying to hit each other, but they're phasing through each other. You even see a part where Vision hits White Vision through the ground, and you see like a grave robber. He comes up and he grabs Vision and tries to drag him under, because he's basically a zombie if you kind of look at it one way or another. The whitewashed Vision. But moving forward, we see Agatha and we see Agatha and Wanda actually starting their face off again, and Monica is trapped in the house. I don't understand your question. Rephrase that one and I'll get back to that one. But I will say this. We see Agatha actually kind of telling Wanda, hey, you're not the hero in this story. You're a villain because you've been torturing these people for weeks. And she starts to release the different people. And the different people basically kind of gang up on Wanda. They just pretty much tell her to let them go or let us die, because we have your nightmares. you know, we can only think what you think. This is not a good thing. And Wanda tries to rationalize it. And when they get too close, she starts choking them out. And Wiccan sees this before it happens. So maybe this means that he has the power to see in the future. And maybe that'll help them out in the future. I don't know how that's going to go. And we'll talk about that in the post-credit scene. In any case, moving forward, Wanda realizes what she's doing. She opens the hex. Vision and the kids start to pixelate, start to disappear. The people start to try to run out of town. This opening gives Hayward a way in. He gets into the hex at this point. And then we see Wanda close the hex back up because she sees them dying. Now, while she's fighting Agatha, we see that she is, when she's powering up and she's hitting Agatha, Agatha is absorbing her powers. You see her hands turn all black and blue. It looks terrible. It looks like she's decaying. Similar to how the witches decay in the last episode that tried to attack Agatha, her coven who tried to attack her. So we see this happening. And you're kind of wondering at this point, how can Wanda overpower her at this point? So we go back to Monica, who is trapped in the man cave with fake Pietro, or Pietro as you will. And we find out that this is Ralph. We found out from a headshot that this is Ralph, and Ralph Boner at this point. And Boner, I've seen some theories where this is a reference to I want to say Mike Seaver's friend from that older show, and his nickname was Boner. So I hear that this. Do you think Marvel missed on their magic battle, given how strong one is as well? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute, Marcus. Pietro actually pushes Monica at one point, and the thing about it is, Monica's pretty durable, right? Durable at this point, and she actually uses her powers to actually flip him and find out that the magic necklace is actually what's controlling him. She rips it off. He comes back to himself, and he's like, "Yo, don't hurt me." Now, a lot of people, well, I'm not gonna say a lot of people. Some people were saying that maybe since Pietro wasn't the actual one from the Marvel universe, maybe he's the person in witness protection. I doubt it. I doubt it seriously, because when Jimmy Woo did see him, he did not react to him. So I think maybe the person in witness protection was maybe the mailman. That's my theory at this point, but we never get that really answered. From what I saw, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't see that we get that answered at all. So moving forward, so Monica does get out of the basement. She does overtake Pietro. We get back to Wanda and Agatha. And Wanda does her old school running up and doing the whole nightmare scene thing. And she has the coven where it looks like they're going to attack Agatha, but they see the Scarlet Witch and they start calling her the Scarlet Witch. So they try to bind her instead. Wanda's able to get out of this. Meanwhile, we see Vision and Vision fighting each other. And well, I can't say which one is the real Vision. The Vision with color. I'm kind of trying not to say the colored Vision and then the white Vision. That's just weird. But the Vision with color basically presents Vision with basically a paradox, a logical paradox of the ship of Theseus, and basically saying, hey, if you replace all the wood, is it still the ship? Or if you repair all the rot, is it still the ship? And he was like, it's neither or both. And we've seen this before. We've seen this from anywhere from Futurama, where they present the killer Santa with a logical standpoint. We've seen it in Jimmy Neutron, where you present somebody. He presented the bullying machine with a paradox. You see this a lot where the logical machine is basically broken by a logical but illogical type paradox. So in any case, Vision unlocks Vision's memories, the colorless Vision memories, and he basically says, I am Vision, disappears. Now back to Wanda and Agatha. they are actually fighting in the air, and she's basically distracting Agatha. She's shooting her power, and it looks like it's missing Agatha. It's hitting the walls of the hex, and then she's hitting Agatha, and she's like draining, and she's like, take all my power. You know what? Forget it. We'll talk about it in a second. So, but what Wanda was doing, long story short, is she was actually using what she had learned from Agatha, mentor moment, about the ruins, and she made the ruins on the walls of the hex, and now Agatha can't use her powers anymore. So she starts to absorb her powers back, and she actually starts to show her actual new and improved Scarlet Witch, which I'm kind of digging. I like the new Scarlet Witch suit. It kind of puts me in the mind of Magneto. But also, if you all look at it, it does have a M on her forehead and an M on her belt. But it looks, I don't think it's a nod to Magneto, but that would be pretty cool. But I do think it's a nod to the ruin. There is an M-looking ruin if you look in the basement. Also, when it kind of phases around and you can see all the ruins that are on the hex. So I think maybe it's a protection ruin on her head and her belt. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. My cousin asked, how do you feel about White Vision quitting his job in orientation? He definitely quit the job. He definitely, but his job didn't tell him what he was tasked with completely. So he quit because he found out some details. It happens. It happens. But yeah, so we were looking, looking at that, we see, you know, the kids at Hayward, man, what a piece of crap. Whether they're fake kids or not, he real deal shot at some kids. And the good news is Monica was there just in time, which she can see bullets, which means she basically has some nice reaction time where she can see bullets. So it means she has some sort of super speed, and also she's able to absorb energy, maybe even I'm thinking kinetic energy at this point, because she was able to jump in front of the bullets and stop the bullets with her body, and then they came out on the other side and just stopped. And then we see Wiccan stop the last bullet that flew by Monica with his powers, which was pretty cool. So yeah, Spectrum is gonna be a problem. She's just now learning her powers, and she is she's dangerous now. So I just can only imagine, because she is supposed to be in Captain America 2 along with Miss Marvel, which is gonna be interesting in itself. Man, we again, I'm still holding out hope that we do get the Ultimates. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. In any case, Hayward tries to get away. Darcy hits him with a truck, and then she's out too. She's out with she's out just like Vision was. Maybe he's gonna get her that lobster that she was talking about in a few episodes back. But both of them are out of there. We see Wu come back up. The good news is everybody they actually arrest Hayward, and then we get to see the sad ending that we all knew was coming. We knew that, I think most of us knew that the boys weren't going to make it out of it. Me and my cousin basically kept saying, hey, the twins are not going to make it out of this. And of course, at this point, we get to finally see the ending, where we see the shot where her and Vision are holding hands as the hex actually closes down. They get this goodbye scene with the twins. They say a few words, and Wanda says something interesting. She says, thank you boys for choosing me to be your mom. And hold that thought for me. She says, thank you for choosing to be your mom instead of, her, her actually and having them or whatnot. So it seems like they chose her some kind of way. Maybe means they were maybe a little bit outside of her magic. We don't know. I'm just holding out hope we get something with Mephisto or something like that. But as my homie Juan, I don't know if he's watching right now, but as my homie Juan said, if y'all go and watch his YouTube channel, he has a video where it's like everything we see, it's mocking everybody. It's just basically saying everything we see is Mephisto, and then we don't get from Mephisto at the end of this series. But hilarious. In any case, she says goodbye to the boys. She has a heartfelt conversation with Vision. They have the little hex moment where it's closing down and Vision disappears. kind of makes you think about Fight Club. At the end of Fight Club, when they're holding hands and they see the buildings fall, they're basically doing the same thing here. And Vision in his black turtleneck, Vashon, as everybody's calling him at this point, disappears. So we do get to see all of that. I can't really say that, Clarissa. That's a good question. However, and the reason why I say that is because it was all magic. Vision, of course, can't conceive at all, and she basically impregnated herself with magic. So I can't say if they are genetically real or not, even halfway at this point. But I will say it does seem as if they do have a soul. So to answer your question, I don't think that's how that works. But good question. I don't think they're genetically half real. I just think they are magical beings with a soul. They were just manifested, kind of like Vision was. He was manifested. He wasn't half real or anything. He was basically part of the Hex Sex got her pregnant. Dude, y'all gotta stop with this Hex Sex stuff, bro. But to answer your questions before I get into the post-credit scenes, what's the deal with Sword? I heard about them before. Now remember, we did see Sword being, I will say, fine-tuned at the end of the second Spider-Man movie. So we have heard about them before. And also, Sword has more to do with things from outer space. Now, I will say this. If Sword is having to do with outer space and they were maybe the sister company of S.H.I.E.L.D., then why didn't they step in once Thanos stepped in? That's a good question. But then you also have to remember the Skrulls are I think they're a deep part of Sword at this point. And maybe they were just trying to stay out of sight at this point because, Thanos had hired Ronin, which is basically who was chasing the Skrulls in the first place. So maybe they were just trying to stay out of the way at this point. So great question, though. Great question. Also, you asked a question earlier. Yeah, you asked, did Marvel miss out? I think this battle, honestly, everybody is talking about how they didn't like the end battle with Agatha and the Scarlet Witch, but shoot, I enjoyed it better than the battle between Doctor Strange and Dormammu, who are you got the Sorcerer Supreme and one of the most powerful magical entities, period, that's supposed to be in MCU, and it was just like rewound time. I was okay with the Agatha and Wanda fight to me. In any case, yeah. So moving forward, we do have the after credit scene where the Skrull reveals herself to our Monica Rambeau, aka Photon or Spectrum, and she basically says, "Hey, we got a mutual friend that wants to meet with you," and she points up. Now, whether she was talking about Nick Fury, because remember he was in the space station. The Sword space station, or she was talking about Captain Marvel. I don't know, but we do know that she's going to be up there more than likely training and honing her skills for the next movie. Now, that being stated, we do have another post-credit scene where we see Wanda kind of walking around in Bruce Banner's old house. I'm kidding, it's not Bruce Banner's old house. But it is reminiscent of the Incredible Hulk, the end of the Incredible Hulk, where he's off by himself and he's meditating and he opens his eyes green and smiles at the camera for some odd reason. I don't know why he does that. Anyway, we do have Wanda off in a house similar to that house, and she's kind of walking around doing something mundane. However, her astral form, that's what it was. It was her astral form that was studying, and it's kind of reminiscent of Doctor Strange. While he was sleeping, his astral form was learning magic. And this is what she was doing. She has taken the Darkhold from Agatha at this point, after she has, trapped her in her own mind. And she is reading everything from the Darkhold. Now, this Darkhold, I was wrong again. This Darkhold does look different from the one in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and from the one in the Runaways, which maybe just means that it's not completely canon, or maybe it's an alternate universe or something like that. But that means those two shows are not completely canon, because this Darkhold does look a lot different. Now, a lot of people were asking, well, what does this mean? Because she is actually learning some pretty dark stuff from that book. But what it does mean is that Wanda is going to be very, very powerful, because she, first of all, she doesn't need incantations, and now that she does know some of them, or a lot of them, with the way she was studying, that means she's going to be. They mentioned that she was already more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme, so that's going to be interesting, because Doctor Strange is pretty powerful himself, and to say that she's more powerful than him, that's pretty interesting. Why do you think she didn't just put the Hex? I think it was more about letting go. I think the whole show was about her grieving, her different stages of grief. And that last part was her letting go of the Hex, because if she would have kept the Hex around the house, then that's her holding on to her little alternate reality still. So she had to basically let that go and, you know, move on with her life. You know, just like Vision said, hey, you know, we've said goodbye before, we'll say hello again. And that was part of her saying goodbye. She had to say goodbye to the kids and Vision, because they were part of something that she wasn't supposed to do in the first place. Morally, it's wrong. However, anybody with the same powers that misses somebody enough, probably put in the same situation, would have done something similar to bring their loved one back, at least for a small time. In any case, she was able to properly say goodbye to Vision and properly say goodbye to the kids without, you know, Thanos, you know, ripping a stone out of his head. So that's my answer to that question. But yeah, that post-credit scene does show us that Wanda is gonna be very OP, and I don't know where we go from here. We got Wanda at this point. We got Doctor Strange at this point. We got Thor. You know, he does have Stormbreaker and his upgraded powers. We are definitely getting a lot less grounded with the newer powers since Phase 4. But I guess you're going to need them, because at this point we're going to be facing somebody, if they're going to have another Avengers style movie, this other movie is going to have someone that is on Thanos' level or stronger than him. And how do you beat them? By making your superheroes a lot stronger. Because, I mean, between those three that I just mentioned, man, you basically have some some interesting powers, to say the least, since the Time Stone was to protect the reality and is... I think at this point that does kind of downgrade what he can do, but you got to remember at the same time, Strange's powers outside of having the Eye of Agamotto, he's still very powerful outside of that. As a matter of fact, he didn't even use it against. Remember, he didn't use it against Thanos at all while they were on Titan, and he still held his own. I mean, he didn't win the fight, but he definitely held his own against Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. So I don't think that's gonna hurt him too much. But having an Infinity Stone does help your case. Now, mind you, Captain Marvel and our friend Wanda are both composed of powers from the Infinity Stone. And now that we know that Wanda already had powers before that, I think that puts Wanda at the top of the pyramid at this point. She's already been mentioned as being more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme, and then also she already had powers before the Infinity Stone. So I think that puts her on the same level or a little bit above Captain Marvel. That's just my thinking at this point, especially since she's honing her powers at this point. And it's going to be tough to beat her. In any case, yeah, her and Thor are probably at the top of the power scale thing. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. In any case, that's all I have for you guys today as far as WandaVision. Any other questions, DM me or hit me in the comments of this show. I appreciate y'all coming out. I do want to let y'all know this is going to be the end, what I will call the end of season 1 for the Coffee Bar. I will be taking a little bit of a hiatus from the live show, but y'all can count on episodes of, or reviews of the Sip and Review coming out on my channel. I will get a schedule together where you all can, you know, be ready for them. But yeah, this is gonna be the last Coffee Bar Live for a little minute. I gotta rearrange some things, and we'll be back with season 2 coming up. This is episode 20, so I appreciate y'all, everybody that came out. I know a lot of y'all came out all 20 episodes, and I appreciate all the support. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and then subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Appreciate it. Once again, hey, I love y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves. I'm out.